And we are live, back with another episode of the Prove Me Wrong podcast on the Los's Corner Store. I'm your host, Carlos Ojeda, and today we're going to be giving our preview of UFC Fight Night, Ortega versus Rodriguez, happening in Long Island, New York. We already know New York, the State Athletic Commission is the worst one, but the UFC always puts on good cards, whether it's a fight night, whether it's a pay-per-view, and this time is no different. Not gonna lie, I went out last night. We're not gonna cover the prelims because they're already almost done. Main card starts at 2 p.m. We're gonna try to get this video out by then. So let's jump straight into it. First fight of the night on the main card. Lauren Murphy versus Miesha Tate. It's a 125-pound women's flyweight fight. It should be a really good fight. Should be a really technical fight. Lauren is good everywhere, not great anywhere. Miesha, former champ, has the wrestling pedigree, has the experience, has the name value. She's probably, if she could just get this win, she's probably in line for a title shot versus Valentina next. So this should be a good fight from both ladies. Should be a tough fight, and should be some fireworks. Next up, Shane Burgos versus Charles Jourdain. Charles Jourdain, the Canadian monster. Shane Burgos, the man from New York. Tough guys. Both guys are absolute scrappers. They both like to go in there and just bang. This fight has fireworks written all over it. I've never seen Shane Burgos be in a boring fight. I've never seen Charles Jourdain be in a boring fight. This fight should be absolutely bananas from start to finish. 145-pound featherweight fight. This fight is my pick for fight of the night. Just saying. Up next, we got Matt Schnell versus Sumu Derji. Not gonna lie. Sumu Derji, that's the only name they had on the UFC website. So that's the name I'm going with, I guess. Yeah, both of these guys like to scrap. Both of these guys like to walk forward and not take a step back. I think Matt Schnell definitely has the experience fighting high-level guys, but both guys have power. They don't like to take a step back. I don't see this fight going past the second, but it should be a very, very, very fun fight, a very good scrap. Up next, we got Jingliang versus Muslim Salakov. It's a 170-pound welterweight fight. Jingliang has not fought since he fought Khamzat Chimaev, but Jingliang is one of those guys that'll just fight anybody, no matter what the matchup is looking like, no matter what the hype's looking like. He's an absolute dog. And Muslim Salakov is a Dagestani guy who he can wrestle, he just doesn't. He has power in his hands. He's got great knockout power. He's got great combinations, great footwork. Muslim is 5-0 since he lost his UFC debut, so he loses his UFC debut. Now he's on track to win his 6th straight versus Jingliang. This should be a fun fight, kind of a fight that I think takes place everywhere. It's just a good mixed martial arts contest, and really excited for that, just to see who's gonna take that next step in the rankings in that deep 170-pound welterweight division. In our co-main event, we've got Michelle Waterson Gomez versus Amanda Lemus. It's a 115-pound women's strawweight fight. Waterson is 1-3 in her last 4. She's trying to catch a new rhythm. Hasn't fought in a while. Trying to catch a new rhythm versus a younger opponent, not as much experience. Lemos has only lost to Leslie Smith and Jessica Andrade since he came into the UFC, so she's kind of just going through women without a problem. She's got one hell of a chin. She walks forward, throws big punches, has the ground game. And yeah, this should be a fun fight. Should be a fight where there's a lot of feeling out in the beginning, and then one person's going to start to take this over, I feel like, in the second, and then, yeah, should just be fireworks after that. Somebody's probably just going to get lit up for the better part of 2 rounds. And in the main event, we have Brian T-City Ortega versus Yair. I think it's El Pantera. You look that up. Yeah, El Pantera Rodriguez. I'm not stupid. Yair El Pantera Rodriguez. Brian's 15-2. His only 2 losses are Max Holloway, the 2nd greatest featherweight of all time, and Alexander Volkanovski, the greatest featherweight of all time. Yair Rodriguez, his only losses have come to Frankie Edgar when he was young and Max Holloway right now. So, yeah. They are those guys at the top of the division. Yeah, they are just the guys at the top of the division that aren't number 1 and 2, the greatest of all time. This should be the best featherweight fight we see all year, just in terms of competitiveness, in terms of back and forth. I don't think this fight goes 5 rounds, but I definitely don't think it's stopped early. I think this is going to be a blood and guts war that goes all the way until 4 and 5, and then somebody's going to find like a spectacular finish, as both of these guys have done. Yair gets late knockouts, and T-City gets late submissions or knockouts. So this should be a very, very, very fun fight. Both guys are absolute dogs. Yair said that he was promised a title shot should he win. Brian arguably gave Volkanovski his toughest test. I think Max Holloway won the second Volkanovski fight, but if you're talking about pure tough tests, I think that Brian had Volk in more danger. Although he did lose worse, in my opinion, than Max ever did. But yeah, these guys are just trying to prove that the gap between the 4 big heads right now at featherweight and the rest of the competition is just so large. Like, honestly, the winner of unless this fight is ended early, the winner of this fight is a winner, but the loser is not a loser. I think Volk, Max, Brian, and Yair are really the cream of the crop at 145, and everybody else is just really tough, hard-nosed guys who are really good at fighting, which is not a slight on any of those guys. I've seen it. Brian versus anybody in the division is going to Brian. Yair versus anybody in the division is going to Yair. Max versus anybody in the division is going to Max. Volk is going to get everybody in the division. So Max beats everybody that's not Volk. Volk beats everybody. Who goes and puts their name into that conversation of we just can't beat these 2 top guys? If Brian wins, he's probably going to fight Max Holloway again, which I feel like is a great fight, a great rematch. And if Yair wins, he's getting a title shot. This has so many implications for that 145-pound division. I don't think it matters. I think it's one of the more stagnant divisions just because of the domination at the top. And that includes Max Holloway, to be completely honest. He's, other than Yair, he hasn't had a tough fight that's not Volk. So, yeah, this should be a fun fight. Brian versus Yair honestly could go down as fight of the year, to be completely honest. Both guys are not gonna go down. It's gonna be 5 rounds of pure war, and with the technique that these guys show in striking, it's gonna be fun. Like every time the UFC goes to New York, they always put on fun cards, and this is just another one capped off by another great fight. Honestly, this could be fight of the year. I know I said Shane Burgos versus Charles Jourdain could be fight of the night, but it's probably going to go to this one. If this fight wasn't such a banger, it would be Shane versus Charles, but this fight has fight of the year written all over it. Both of these guys are just blood and guts fighters that have all the technique and all the skills in the world to be champion, just not right now. So, yeah, love to see it. Thank you, UFC, for putting on such a great card on Long Island. It sucks that we don't get more New York talent, but it is what it is. Still a great card. And, yeah, that is it. That is my preview for UFC Fight Night, Ortega versus Rodriguez. Thank you to Mom. Thank you to Buddy, as usual. And, yeah, guys, I'm signing off. Peace.